name is Malik. I'm a filmmaker. I've been in the industry for about 15 years. That's my traditional, filmmaking practice. I started to experiment with AI for the past, let's say, 6 years. Well, properly 3 years ago to see how I could use that to augment my business or to make things faster, or just to see the possibilities of what it could be. I always dabble with emerging technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and the likes, just to add a different extra layer to it. But I always find that there's a problem where, as Africans, telling a story or trying to, portray yourself to the world. So, for instance, as a creator in Africa, there's always something that is a problem, and that problem is access. So, access to either equipment or access to software, or access to the right places to create something that is actually valuable. But what AI has done is it kind of lowered that barrier, in a way, so that way you could imagine things or create things that didn't actually exist from the beginning. But there's also still a problem there. Like when I was creating the Elder series, it's a fashion show for the elders. I am back to create Africans looking elegantly in a certain way, but I was, met with biases. I was met with, the stereotypes of Africa. I was met with images that were not representing what I was trying to create. So that really, took me back into understanding that this digital space was still kind of on the background or on the forefront on how we're being represented. So I had to literally train, the network I was using, the neural networks I was using, to make it understand certain things with lots of data, 15 years worth of data, to get the first images that I got 2 years ago to create that. And that also made me realize how important it is for us as individuals to put out the right content. I'll go straight into AI because that's what we're talking about today. And I call it AI for good. And what is AI for good? It involves using AI to address, global issues, healthcare, climate change, anything that has to do with a problem, to speak for the people that cannot be spoken for. So I came up with a concept called the Elder series. And that came from a personal, space for us, trying to create my mother in a space that was not, subjected to, that was not suppressed. And that led up to me thinking about how to represent a certain demographic in a space, but how could I create that demographic? The only way I could do that was to use AI, and first of all, it was a facade. It was great. It was, this great technology. But when I started to use it, I realized how much we have to actually train it, for it to be what we want it to be. It's like a blank canvas for me. I see it as a blank canvas, and that means it's a tool and not a replacement. So the problem I find with creatives a lot is that it's going to replace, it's going to alter our creative processes, but actually it enhances it. Because if you find ways to use it as a tool, it will always enhance, not replace. So it went viral after that, but I'm not going to play this because it's going to just take some time.
A Nigerian
I'm trying to go to the next one quickly.
Artist is generating buzz with.
So that led up to me having a real fashion show in Lagos and in Amsterdam. So the digital kind of inspired physical, we are now doing real fashion shows for the elderly people. And apart from that as well, I've been able to work with brands like Marvel Studios, brands like, from Marvel Studios, what we did was we created the costumes for the lead actors, for the vampires, and also the world, the composition of what the film would look like before you even go in and back and filming it. So that was new for Marvel as well last year when we did that. For IBM, we were trying to create something that had to do in a way, and my brief was the Beatles. And I don't know if you know about the very popular song called "Here Comes the Sun," and the very popular picture where there were the Abbey Road crossing picture. So they asked me, IBM came to me and I said, how could you reimagine history if there was no sun? And what would inspire the Beatles to write a song? So I used AI to reimagine history, and my inspiration was a songwriter in the snow, and this was showcased in Cannes last year. For the Cadbury African industry, I used AI to create all the characters for 4 of the different branding for Africa, and also so the licensing to them as well. For Glenfiddich, we created an actual 1-minute TV commercial last year. Before we had this video software, I had to find ways of creating a video using AI, and I don't want to play the videos because I don't want to take some time, but also AI films, AI products, AI fashion. But what I'm trying to even get to is when you look at the technology as a tool, it is not going, the focus is different, the approach is different. So that means it does not dictate your final product. And it doesn't have to dictate your initial product as well. It's just a step in your pipeline of creativity. And that's why I call it the new frontier. So we have to find ways of think of new ways to approach it as creators, which is what I've done. And I've been doing workshops about it as well. And I could license my product, I could sell my product because of the fact that it's not based on AI, it's based on still my experiences and my workflows and all of that. Yes, I'll stop there.